Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Detroit Tigers. This is the penultimate episode of this series, and I hope you've been having a great time with it, as I have playing it. In case you missed last week's video or Friday's video, just to confirm, next week's video will be the last video of OTP 25 on Monday. The Friday series will continue for now. And we're going to start playing Slay the Spire. I want to get a few achievements, and I thought it'd be kind of fun for you all to watch along with me as I do that. So that's where we're at. So in case you've never been with a series-ending video like next week's, just as a quick note, I'll probably go through the gameplay portion of it kind of fast because I want to spend a little bit more time reminiscing. We can do some guy remembering, talk about some of the people that made us successful. Because we played this game for a long time. It'll be 50 episodes. Basically, for not quite a full year, we've been running this particular sim. So, yeah. Through, I believe, 2 different games? Yeah, because I started this in 24. I did start this in 24, so. With that said, what happened last episode? Well, we've kind of backslid a little bit. There was a time not too long ago when we were actually a pretty competitive team. But our margins were razor thin. And what's happened is those margins disappeared. Instead of having a competent offense and a great pitching staff, that offense is no longer competent. We take a look at our statistics. This is not a great lineup. This is what a lot of people would call a bit shit. And I don't really have a solution to it. And I think that's what's going to trap us here. We don't really have any big time players that I expect to make some sort of dramatic improvement. Like Jim Fregosi can't carry us forever. And we have a lot of okay players, but what we don't have is we don't have a lot of contact, which has been a big issue for us. And we don't have a lot of consistency offensively. So we have a lot to work on. And I am extremely concerned that we are running out of time. Yeah. Give me my scout, you miscreant. Oh, I don't have a scout, because we need a new scouting director, that's right. I apologize for calling you a miscreant game. It won't happen again. So we only have 2 seasons left. So I'm going to try to avoid getting too deep into worrying about what's going to happen in 10 years. Martin Tierney is the correct answer. Now, I really wanted someone who is legendary majors, legendary minors. That's not happening. But the thing is, internationals is meaningless. Like, there's just no reason to hire someone who's good at international scouting because it doesn't exist yet. So I'm going to take Martin Tierney here. I guess I should care a little bit about his personality. Maybe? I don't care. I don't care. So that's that done. Player development will come up next here. Ted Simmons taking a mega leap forward would be extremely welcome. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'd be happy if it did. Now, the thing is, I really want to work on his defense as a catcher. However, I just need his bat to be functional. If we can get a functional bat out of him in a quick fashion, that's more valuable to me than him being an amazing catcher. Wayne Garrett, work on plate discipline. Cesar or John Walkenfuss, work on contact. Normally, I always push super hard for batting eye. He is so far behind the game on contact. Like, worrying about anything else is meaningless right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to have you work on quality of contact. It's a bit risky, I understand, but he is stupid, so it probably won't work out, but maybe it will. Maybe it will. Cesar Geronimo, plate discipline. Let me look at the Major League roster now. I'm sure there's a couple people here who could use a bit of a hint. Yes, Rich and I, the pitching guy. Oh, movement. Very obviously movement. Rich Knight, the pitching guy. For those of you who are too old to know what I'm referencing, there was a popularizationer of science, I guess I'd call it. I don't think popularizationer is a word, but it is now. But there was this guy on his show for kids, and he would talk about science. Um, now I'm actually a little bit old for Bill Nye. The guy I actually remember was Mr. Wizard, but same kind of thing. Same kind of thing. They try to make science accessible to little kids, and it's awesome because science is fun. Everyone should love science, in my opinion. Catfish Hunter, what if you... If you worked on pitch movement as well. There we go. Done. But yes, that's who Bill Nye was. So whenever I see the last name of Nye, especially with a one-syllable first name, that's what immediately pops into my head. My head is a terrifying place. I don't recommend visiting it if you're not accustomed to it. A personal message. Oh my. Eh. Manuel Perez is a good reliever, but you're giving up a pretty good player in exchange. I don't think this is the winning move you think it is. I don't believe that to be the case. All players, please. Eh. Richard Marks is just not interesting to me. He's not. We need to get better contact. And I don't know where that comes from. And I think that is the crux of our big issue here. I don't know that there's a solution to that particular problem. I'm not going to sign anybody or even make any attempts on anybody until I get our scouting director, though. Wait, Willie Stargell? What? I'm sorry. Why on earth would the Angels make this trade? Like, it is a comically stupid trade under any circumstances. I'm not saying because real life Willie Stargell is a Hall of Famer. And a pretty easy one at that. I'm saying it because Ron Hunt fucking sucks. He's a second baseman who can't play second base. His offensive career has basically been empty batting averages for most of his career. And James Cole is a thoroughly unremarkable reliever who does throw pretty hard, I guess, but this is a comically stupid trade. I don't know what California was trying to get out of it unless they're just trying to save money. Are they like right up against it? Maybe? They've got plenty of money. I think you're just fucking stupid. I think that's the answer here, is that you're just comically stupid. No, I'm not taking two mediocre players for Billy Canigliaro. Mm. Nope. This is the kind of player where if you don't break down the ratings, you get really excited. Whereas his only skill is not striking out. And playing mediocre defense. This is a terrible player. He's overrated because his contact looks really, really good. He's not going to have a good career. In fact, I doubt he ever makes the major leagues because he's never going to hit consistently enough to get attention. Now, that having said, like, look at this wholly empty batting average, Batman. He basically hit a little bit, drew some walks, and accomplished nothing else of note. Like, he's not a good player, not no in 1,000 years. And Bob Miller just has three shitty pitches. So, no thank you. Bo Belinsky and Mike Marshall for Cookie Rojas. Those are definitely some names I remember. Charlie Smith sucks. Why would I want him? Is everyone just gonna find all their trash and try to just get me to take it? Probably. No gold gloves for the Tigers. Disappointing, but not too surprising. Nothing of interest there. Jim Fregosi got another Silver Slugger, which is nice. Yeah, last year was super because everyone, even that had good power, like their power just evaporated, which I find very confusing to me. Um, there's probably a lesson in that. I just don't know what that lesson is. So yes, Senor Torres, hard agree. Fuck that noise. What do we even want? What do we even want? Like, here's the thing. Hawk Harrelson was fucking garbage last year. And yet, I have nothing better, so I'm kind of forced to keep him. That's kind of where we are right now. Until the start of actual true free agency, these Tigers are not going to play particularly well. Because it's just not enough way for us to make a meaningful improvement, other than just like continually hoping that the next trade will be the one that solves all of our problems. Which it won't be. Sorry to spoil that for you, but it's not gonna matter that much. Um we're just not a good offensive team. We're just not. Um I think Ron Fairley was papering over a lot of issues. Now, there's a couple players here that I am pretty positive about. Jim Fregosi is one. Although, again, stop trying to make him a shortstop. That's not going to be a thing here. He's going to be a second baseman. Like, second base takes him from good player to amazing one. Jim Northrup is the other one that's worth keeping around. I actually feel pretty good about him. He should be better than he is, but I'm pretty happy about him. That's two positions I'm pretty confident in. I still like Jack Hyatt, but with nobody hitting for contact, we're gonna have to find something we can do to try to break this stalemate. Um, yes. Let's read all messages, please. Norm Cash got traded. Oh, Dave Cash got traded. Pardon me. Who's on the trade block? Is there anybody that interests me? I already tried Albie Pearson. I didn't like him the first time. I don't think I'm gonna like him now. Eh... There just aren't the players I'm looking for, unfortunately. Yeah, it's like somewhere in Albie Pearson is a top tier hitter. The problem is he just hasn't been able to provide that offense to any team he's played for. Um, he's been decent, but he's never really taken that extra step, and I don't think he ever will. Because what is his skill set? I don't strike out. I do hit for average, but I don't strike out, and I draw lots of walks. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. Let me stop you right there if you think I'm complaining about that. This is a potentially good player, but his skill set is so limited that like he has wild variance depending on how his batting luck goes. Um, yeah, I don't know that he solves any particular issue for us if we were to trade for him back, even though it would be funny to just keep kicking him back and forth. But I don't think that helps us. I don't think that helps us. Yeah. This may end up being that the only way we get better is the draft this year. Which if that's what happens, that's what happens. I'm not gonna sweat it, but that very well may be where we find ourselves here. Rookie of the year, nothing too crazy. Tom Seaver won Cy Young. Not even a single vote for Jim Fregosi isn't terribly surprising, but it does make me sad. I was like seeing the name Detroit Tigers in there just one time. Alas. Um, I don't know that Don Cardwell is an answer to any kind of question that I actually have. I feel reasonably good about our starting pitching already. And we do have a couple reinforcements there that I can call upon. Oh, we really like Ted Simmons now. Interesting. Well, he'll get a chance to earn it. For sure. Not that Sandy Alomar is anything special. Like, I don't feel obligated to hang on to him, but I do like his flexibility, and he certainly has an offensive skill set. So let's, for now, just keep going and see if other offers come in. I just realized I'm thirsty, and I've got a bottle of water sitting next to me, and I just haven't opened the lid. Sometimes I worry that people that watch my videos think I'm like functionally a moron and that I can barely put my pants on in the morning. Which isn't true, but I kind of feel like it might be. This is Joe Necro, not Phil Necro. That's Joe Necro, his younger brother. I believe they're still the winningest brothers in Major League history if you combine them together. Just like Hank and Tommy Aaron had the most home runs, because Tommy Aaron has like 12. Um, I always found it interesting to see both brothers and then father and son stuff, which is usually either the Griffeys or the Bonds. Or the Bonds is potentially. Hall of Fame voting. Let's go. Who we got? I will vote for Richard Ashburn. I will vote for Johnny Antonelli. Both of them seem reasonable. I will vote for Whitey Ford. Not as good as real life Whitey Ford, but still pretty damn good. I will vote for the Shermanator and Minnie Mignoso and Pearson Roberts. Look, I'll vote for Kurt Simmons and Bobby Thompson as well. I'm gonna toss out to Jackie Robinson. This is me voting strategically. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna make the Hall of Fame in our game because he just wasn't good enough relative to his actual historical accomplishments. But I feel like I had to give him one more chance. And it's not like my not voting for, say, Hoyt Wilhelm or Gene Woodling is gonna make a difference. So there we are. Actually, there's also George Kell. Hmm. And I don't want to be the reason that George Kell doesn't make it. I'm gonna drop Richie Ashburn, even though I think he's a better player, because I want George Kell to have a chance to get elected. My vote might actually matter quite a bit there. So that's my thinking there. I was really excited to see that Richie Allen, or sorry, not Richie Allen, Dick Allen and Dave Parker made the Hall of Fame. I thought that was really cool. Both players were before my time. Like I don't remember them at all, but it's still very cool that they made it. Yeah, like John Warren offers nothing. He's another hard throwing reliever, and those I don't have any interest in that. Your trade is bad and you should feel bad. Uh Dick Allen hated being called Richie. Which is why I deeply apologize. That was just a slip of the tongue. It was very infantilizing, and he found it really frustrating. People literally did it just to wind him up. Charlie Smith has no redeeming offensive characteristics whatsoever. I mean, Jerry Robertson isn't very good, but that's okay. Um, yeah, I reject your trade offer. I laughed derisively in your general direction for proposing such a silly thing. Okay, Ed Kirkpatrick is not a flawless player. He is worth 10 John Warrens. I get the game thinks I have a type that I like really hard throwing relief pitchers, which I do. But no, I am not giving you a functional major league player for a reliever. I'm just not going to do that. I do want to kick the tires in trading Stu Miller. I don't think anyone's going to give me anything for him, but they might. And for the right player, it might be worth it. Yeah, nobody wants him. I completely understand that. As far as who makes the Hall of Fame for the baseball writers vote, that's an interesting question. Um, IRL. Let me quickly pull up the ballot. I'm pretty confident I know who's gonna make it. I know Ichiro's first timer this year. Let's see. Baseball Hall of Fame ballot 2024. Oh no, it's a 2025 ballot. That's right. Okay. So as far as first ballot guys who might make it, I think Ichiro and CC Sabathia are the two that I think are the most likely and the most deserving. Other people that deserve it, okay, let's fucking go. If I were to pick my 10 people on this real life ballot, here's who I'd pick. Ichiro and CC Sabathia. Both are fantastic players of their generations, and I think they both highly deserve it. Ichiro, as much as for his contribution to Japan, is what he did in the major leagues, and CC Sabathia for being one of the last great workhorse pitchers. I'm not just saying that because he played for Cleveland, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Carlos Beltran deserves it. I don't know people are gonna get pissy and moany because of the trash straws, which I completely understand. I don't I don't begrudge people who have that opinion, but I think he definitely deserves it. One of the most incredible combinations of power and speed that we've seen in recent years. I think he's highly deserving. Going next, I'm going alphabetically down the list. Andrew Jones, I'll come back to. I've got 3 players so far. I want to see if there's anybody else here that I think deserves to make it. Okay, steroids, I don't give a shit about it. I truly don't care. If the Baseball Hall of Fame didn't want us to consider them, they wouldn't put them on the ballot. So Manny and A-Rod are in for me. But it's just not even a question. Statistically, Manny and A-Rod are so far above the standards for their positions that in any universe where people don't get hung up about what people do to their own bodies, they would sail in without a question. Billy Wagner for me is number 6. If you're gonna have relievers in the Hall of Fame, they need to be the best of the best, and he definitely qualifies. I know he didn't get a lot of gaudy save numbers, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, he didn't have a great postseason career." He didn't have a lot of opportunities to pitch in the postseason, and that's not his fault. That's 6. That's 6 people I'm gonna vote for. Um, I would add in Andrew Jones. I think Andrew Jones is a fantastic player. Um, and he's like Andy Giacoletto in our Friday series, where the years were not kind to him when he turned 30. Um, I think at least I think it puts me at 6, right? Let's see. Beltran, Jones, Ichiro, Sabathia, A Rod, and Manny. That's 6. Um, Chase Utley was pretty damn good on a rate basis. I know his career wasn't super long, but tentative 7 for Utley and a tentative 8 for Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy Rollins is the opposite of Chase Utley, and that Jimmy Rollins has the counting stats, whereas um um what's his face, which is what Chase Utley doesn't have, although they were double play partners for a long time. Andy Pettit and Mark Burley, I think, are 9 and 10 for me. I'm not totally convinced Burley deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but the only other person on this bout that I consider is Omar Vizquel. And while Omar Vizquel was a great defensive player, he was an absolute shitheel as a hitter, and as a human being. Um, while the last part has a minimal effect on me, the fact he wasn't a very good hitter, he just played it for a very long time, compiled a bunch of meaningless stats. I think it's what bumps him off the ballot in favor of Mark Burley for me. Because, in my opinion, if you're going to put in Pettit, Burley has to be close behind. Because they're very similar pitchers. Pettit just has a sparkling postseason resume that Burley just never had the opportunity to compile. So, yeah, that's my thinking. That is my thinking for players that make the Hall of Fame this year. Now, who do I think is going to be elected? Probably 3 players. It's probably going to be Wagner. It's definitely going to be Ichiro. I think the question for Ichiro is how many votes he gets. I don't think he'll be unanimous because somebody's going to point out the fact he doesn't have very much power, which is fair. Um, and I think Sabathia's got a good chance to make it in pretty easily too. As much as I hate to say it, he's going to get the Yankee bump, and he's a fantastic player, so I think he deserves to make it. So that's who I predict will be elected this year. Andrew Jones is 61% last year, which is pretty close. Um, and I think Beltran will make some improvements, but I think Alex Rodriguez and Ramirez are going to stall out. I don't see there being any kind of real likelihood. Let me be clear: Mark Burley and Andy Pettit are utterly screwed. They're not going to make the ballot. They're not going to make the Hall of Fame unless they make it into the Veterans Committee. That's just where we are right now. That's just how we are. So we'll see what happens. I think 3 is the most likely scenario, though. Sabathia, Ichiro, and Billy Wagner. I like how I physically am incapable of calling him by his last name. It's always Ichiro to me. We're picking 13th, which isn't amazing. There's nothing I can do about that, but that doesn't fill me with joy. No, give me my fucking scouting director, you shitheel. Mm. Okay, fine. This is my nightmare scenario. There aren't any good players right now in this draft. There's nobody who's ready to take over a starting role on this team. Eric Soderholm is a good baseball player, but I don't have a spot for him. I need a first baseman, and there's 3 great ones to choose from. But there are super far away from the major leagues. Is there anybody with a good overall by chance? Thurman Munson. He's fine. That's not really enough to get him. Like, he's fine isn't a ringing endorsement of a player that I'm willing to bring onto my team. I mean, Greg Lazinski is the best player in this draft remaining. And I don't think it's particularly debatable. Good contact, great power, tremendous player. I just don't see him actually being good enough to crack the roster anytime soon, but he's the choice. Just because I'm not going to play this sim anymore doesn't mean I don't want people to do well, you know? Lamar Johnson isn't terrible. I think he offers some level of value to me. And I think we do it. I think we take good old Lamar here. I quite literally was going to take Aurelio Lopez if he'd fallen again. This may be a mistake that I regret later. Probably not right away, but he is a fantastic relief pitcher, and I probably should have taken him over Lamar, but I didn't, so I have to live with that. Why are we considering him only to be a reliever? He's a pretty big guy, and his stats look pretty darn good. I think he is worthy of a draft pick. We demand. Bobby Valentine could have been drafted by me. He wasn't, and he was never going to be, but. Eh. Frank Tavares is the kind of player that I really dislike. He has one major league skill, and it's a very good major league skill. This is the kind of guy where if things work out correctly, he could be lashing doubles across a diamond without too much effort. He's very fast, so he's going to steal a bunch of bases, but he's a garbage tier infielder. And he doesn't have very much power, which means he's necessarily going to be limited. I mean, the question is he better than a lot of other players? He at least has one really good skill, so I think I'm gonna end up drafting him. But this is the kind of player that I don't like. I feel like it's the kind of player that just never works out. But I have like nothing better to do with my money, so I will give him 50 grand in a pillowcase and say, you know what, bro? Come on. Eddie Goodson might be a good son. What he is an unremarkable first baseman. He's fine. Um, I'm gonna draft him just because I don't really have a better solution to the question, but I'm not that enthralled by him or anyone else in this draft for that matter. We'll take Wilbur Howard, I guess. I suppose. Even signed for free. What an absolute legend. Yeah. Mm. Bob Molinaro is uninteresting in the extreme, but he is fairly fast and a competent outfielder. And who knows, that might have value someday. Jim Hanna sucks. I'm sorry to like. I don't know why on earth he's got a 40 potential when he's just not a good pitcher. He just isn't. He throws a fastball and a splitter and nothing else, and he's not very good at that. So I will auto draft at this point. There's just nobody else that's interesting in this draft. But it's very yikes right now. Very yikes indeed. Jim Cott has been traded for Norm Miller, decent, and Jerry Johnson, who's kind of meh. Norm Miller actually would be a really nice player for us, potentially. Hmm. good contact, great batting eye, excellent gap power. This is a guy who could rain doubles on people just for fun. If I wanted to acquire him, it would take Ted Simmons. That's kind of what I figured. Yeah, not worth it. Oh, you would like $7,000. You suck, but you suck in a way that makes you useful potentially, so sure. It's only money. It's not like I'm doing anything better with it. Do I have any Rule 5 eligible people that I care deeply about? I do think you're a pretty good pitcher, and I think you've got a better than even chance of making the bullpen at some point. So we're gonna add you to the 40 man. That's an easy choice for me. And let's see who else is hanging out and might want a job. I don't need Clarence Jones. I don't need yet another player with high power and no contact. Eh. Lou Krause would serve a valuable role as giving us some depth in the rotation. I think he's worthy of a draft pick. Paul Bridgewood is a really good reliever. Let's grab him up. And I guess it doesn't cost anything to at least give Clarence Jones some at bats in spring training, but he's not going to make the club. Like, there's just not a world where I'd look at Clarence Jones and say, ah, yes, the solution to all of my life's problems. Unless there's like lots of injuries. So I guess for that reason, we can add him onto the club. And we'll also add on Robert Dogood here. Done. Again, none of these picks may work out. In fact, I'd be kind of surprised if most of them did. But it gives me options. And all it costs me is a couple of months of salary. And that's worth it to me. There's just no downside to taking a few moments and doing that. Okay, we're going to play a game that's called Stop Offering Me Mediocre Relievers. That's the entire game. If you offer me a mediocre reliever, you lose. Now, IRL 1968 was called Year of the Pitcher, where offensive numbers were so in the toilet that you guys had guys like Denny McLain and Bob Gibson having phenomenal seasons. And Bob Gibson takes is a phenomenal pitcher. Denny McLain, a little bit less so. Hey, look, you failed the challenge once again. Simmons, Lawler, and Yoso all made it. Nice. Good job, gentlemen. Complete sense to me. Complete sense that all three of them made it. They all deserved it. Yeah. I mean, in a year, in a save where integration happened in 1920, Jackie Robinson becomes a really good player, but he doesn't have that historical weight to carry it over the top. Um, so yeah, it happened. Sorry, bruv. Minosa's wearing a pirate's cap. That's fair. He did play. He was with the Pirates more than any other team. Sherm Lawler has no face. His face is just removed. Oh, he played for Brooklyn his whole career, so he's inducted as a Dodger. That makes sense. And then Kurt Simmons is also a life. No, Kurt Simmons was actually with Boston, but it looks like he played more for the Dodgers. So there we go. Worthy inductees all. All right. Let us advance time unto a point where time no longer needs to be advanced. Okay. There's no power on earth that would ever get me to take Charlie Smith. I need you to stop offering him to me. Haha, Tony Oliva. Purging his body of evil fats and toxins, the opposite proved to be true. So what was the opposite of purging evil fats and toxins? Like, it makes you fatter? Maybe. Maybe. It is also possible that I'm being harsh on my offense when, in reality, there's very few premier offensive performers. Thanks for cutting my budget, asshole. I love not having enough money to develop my players. That's exactly what they need. Jerk. What an absolute shitheel. Ed Kirkpatrick got better. That's fun. Joe Mueller got a little bit worse because no, he actually got better. He's gaining some velocity, which is nice. Okay, nothing too wild here. Not that I expected it. Ted Simmons getting better is nice though. Like Ted Simmons is rapidly getting to the point where he's going to make this team in some capacity, which is exactly what we want. Yeah. I don't know that he's going to catch for this team, but he's definitely going to play for this team 100%. Jerry Robertson can have a spring training invite. Robert Candelori can as well. And the rest of you guys can all go fuck yourselves. Yeah. I'm completely fine with Ted Simmons playing catcher every single day in spring training and seeing what we can make of that. We're going to go to 6-man rotation, though. Always want 6 men in spring training. I don't know how Catfish Hunter is like, oh, yes, the shittiest pitcher. Let's put him and pitch him 6th over other people, but I'm fine with it for now. Now, if Ted Simmons comes in and is like legendarily awesome, that's going to be huge. That's going to be ginormous. I mean, Lou Brock is going to hit 400 in the regular season, but that certainly doesn't hurt for spring training purposes. All right. Any other crazy stuff happen here? Phil Niekro got better, although he's not a reliever, he's a starter. Thank you very much. Wayne Garrett got better. Nice. I'm just going to sim on down to the end of spring training and then start making some decisions here. 39 players, 21 of them as pitchers. That's not sustainable in the slightest. So we're going to start making some moves here. Stu Miller, unless they're willing to take a demotion, you're being cut. Hey, you were a big piece to our success for a while, but you're just a shadow of your former self, and I'm not gonna keep you. So long, Stu Miller. All right. Um, I like Bridgewood a lot, actually. I think he's got a huge amount of potential to be a great reliever. So I'm gonna keep Bridgewood. I'm gonna send on Candelori. I'm going to send down Medley and Mechanic. 17 pitchers, 4 more have to go. Stottlemyre can go to the minors. Rich and I can go to the minors. I really want to waive Wade Blasingame. If I can get somebody to take him off my hands for the right player, I will do it. Okay. Well, then I'll just waive him. Two more pitchers have to go. I think Jerry Robertson makes the team. I feel pretty confident about that one. Hmm. I will be back momentarily, friends. Bear with me. Okay. So, we presently have 14 pitchers. Two more still have to go. Um, Booze to the minors, and then last but certainly not least. Hmm. One of you three is going back to your home team, and I think it's going to be Lou Krause. Even though Mr. Krause here is actually one of the three best pitchers. Maybe it's worth keeping him though. I'm letting myself be distracted by Paul Bridgewood, who's nowhere near ready for a major league role, so I'm going to go ahead and send him back to his home team. It may be a mistake, but I think it's the right decision for us, and then we're going to go and clear the staff and set it up. I said clear staff. 5-man rotation, Catfish Hunter at the top of it, then Joe Negro, or Phil Negro rather. Then Louis Tion. And then the question becomes who takes the last two rotation spots. I think it's probably Juicy here. And then it comes down to Joe Moeller or Jerry Robertson. And it's definitely Joe Moeller, the two of them. So this is going to be our opening day rotation. I'll swap Moeller and Juicy, actually. But this is our opening day rotation. There we go. Alright, which means Robertson becomes a reliever for his first year in the majors, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. Alright, who's our closer? It's either Mo Drabowski or it's Claude Lazat, and it's going to be Mo Drabowski. Eighth plus. I don't want Drabowski to necessarily be a stopper, but I do want him getting lots of pitching time. Please show me pitching ratings. Thank you. Clearly the second best pitcher on this team is, of course, going to be Claude Lazat, who's going to very happily settle in as our setup guy that comes in the seventh. Uh, Trinidad and Morioki are both going to be middle relievers. Kraus is going to be a long reliever. Because Robertson's got really good stamina, using him more often is actually a decent idea, but I want to let him. I want to see how he actually is before I make that conclusion. And then Billy Baldwin is going to be middle reliever as well. I need a lefty. This is now becoming obvious that I don't actually have a left-handed reliever. So I think Rich Nye's not a good enough reliever to get consideration here. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and return Robert Dugooder to his home team as well. No, it's gonna be Kraus. I don't need another back end guy because I really need a reliever. I need Candelore to be my lefty specialist, and occasionally do the odd middle reliever. But I think it's a role he's well suited for. So let's add him in like so. And then Robert here is going to be a middle reliever as well. I think as much as I want Jay Robertson to have a big role, I think we have to make him the emergency starter because no one else is qualified. Okay. And then Senor Hunter or whomever will be. Oops. I hit the wrong button. That was dumb of me. Who did I say? What was the order again? It was Hunter, Necro, Tion. Yeah, that's right. Then Moeller, then Juicy. Okay. And we're gonna go for Catfish Hunter. I know he'll be going on 4 days rest, but that's reasonable to me, I think. And he is our best pitcher. So, yeah. Okay, 30 players. 5 more gotta go. I do not need this many catchers. So, Bertel, thank you for your service. It is no longer required. And Hal Dyer can go to the minors. Clarence Jones returns to his home club. This is my starting outfield. This is my outfield roster. I'm not gonna mess with any of this. Um, Joseph Curtin only plays shortstop. He can go to the minors. And Wayne Garrett just needs more high-level reps in the minor leagues before I can trust him with anything. So I think he goes to the minors as well. Okay. All right, let's go to the videotape. Let's clear all this out, and then we'll set the lineup as we think best. Um, I want Jim Fregosi to be the leadoff guy, and Lou Brock. No, I want Jim Fregosi at second. He's too good a hitter. He's too good a hitter. So here's my problem. The only way the Lou Brock is qualified to be a leadoff hitter is the fact that he's really fast. If he's hitting around 300, that makes him good enough. But I wish we had a better on base guy to be our leadoff man. But I think we don't have a choice. I think it's got to be Brock for now, even though I don't like it because I just don't have a better choice right now. I do like the game, so you're going to be making Ted Simmons our number 3 hitter. I think that's highly appropriate given his skill set. The question now is who's going to be our cleanup hitter? Actually, the better question is who's going to play first base? I could put Jack Hyde at first base. I could do that. And I like his top tier on base skills, but I think we need someone a bit more reliable. I think Jim Northrup hits fourth. And then the question becomes do we let Ken Harrelson play another year, or do we let Jack Hyatt play first? And the thing is, if we play Jack Hyatt at first, we don't have a backup catcher. So I think we have to let Harrelson continue to play first base. It may be a mistake, but it's the only decision I've got for right now. Ed Kirkpatrick is going to play right field and hit sixth. Um, that's what's going to happen here. Kirky P, if you will. I know you probably won't, but you could. I'm actually gonna swap him and Harrelson. Actually, I think Kirkpatrick is just a little bit better hitter from top to bottom, so I think that's the right call. Playing third base is gonna be Tom Trash. He can definitely hit seventh for us, and hitting eighth is gonna be probably Ron Hansen. Yeah. All right, game. I'm gonna let you go ahead and set up the depth chart as you like. Yeah, this works for me. But what happened here? I generate depth chart and nothing happened. What? Oh my gosh, I keep hitting copy. I'm not hitting generate. I'm stupid. There you go. Done. Is this a good lineup? It's hard to say. I do think there's a lot of potential in this lineup for sure. I think if Ted Simmons works out the way we think he will, this is going to be a significant improvement over last year's lineup. I am deeply concerned about Lou Brock. I'm worried about him not being able to get on base enough to make the rest of the lineup work. But I think Fergosi's in a good spot hitting second. I think Simmons and Northrup and Kirkpatrick can drive him in, and then Harrelson is there to clean up what's left. Is this a great lineup? No. It's still full of plenty of holes, and then the margins are still super narrow. We're putting a lot of weight on the shoulders of a rookie. A huge amount of weight. If he can handle it, we're going to be a fantastic team. If he can't, we're completely screwed. And there's not really much in between. There's really not an in betweener. Either our lineup is going to be competent or it's going to be god awful, and it's going to depend on Ted Simmons, because he's the only player here that's got a real upside here that could take us over the top. So yeah. Damn, Kurt Flood had a busy 1964. Damn, son. Let's get it done. I do. Who needs an invite? Oh, Candelore. You right. You right, fam. There you go. Blasingame and Bertel can both go to the minors. I'm just not even going to think about it. You can enjoy your time in AAA. That's all you're worth. Okay, so far Ted Simmons, pretty good. Pretty good. Like, damn, son. Oh, that's stupid bullshit. Every time. No. Let's see here. Nothing too wild happening here. Joe Torre was player of the week. Moose Scouron is going to retire. That's fine. Gaylord Perry. A Necro. It is our Necro. Well done, friend. Well done. Tiant threw a shutout. Cal McClish is retiring. Catfish Hunter got a shutout. We've had a lot of shutouts so far, which is obviously not sustainable, but still very good. I sort of don't mind us having shutouts. It's far better than the alternative, which is being shut out. Gary Nolan. Another shutout for Tiant. His ERA is 0.51. That is fucking nuts, man. Or knucking futz, as you like. Another shutout for Catfish Hunter. This really is the year of the pitcher, I guess. Okay, how the fucking hell is Tom Hall Rookie of the Month over Ted Simmons? Hmm. I don't know what's going on with this lineup. This is complete and utter insanity. We have next to no power this year. We're actually performing quite well overall because we're getting on base. I think the fact that this is kind of a year of the pitcher helps us because our shittiness isn't as exposed. Yeah. Too early in the season. I'm not going to make any big decisions yet. Let's just keep it going here and see if the lineup shakes itself out. 15-1. Ed Kirkpatrick is out for 2 to 3 months, which is unfortunate. So Byron Brown can play right field. I'm gonna shift him to right field just so that it looks correct. And then we're gonna figure out who actually plays right field in a moment here. Someone else has to be called up to play. And I think we need a middle infielder. I think Wayne Garrett returns. Somehow Wayne Garrett returned. As far as who's hitting where, the question is it Jimmy Hall or is it Byron Brown? Jimmy Hall is the icest of ice cold. I'm gonna give Byron Brown at least a chance to play in the major leagues, and we'll see what he can do with it. I think he's just earned that opportunity, given how often he's been on the shuttle back and forth to Toledo. Give me a new depth chart, please. I'm not bringing in Hyde every other game. Don't be fucking stupid, man. Ted Simmons is the only competent hitter on this team, and you want me to start Jack Hyde every other game? Are you mental? Are you having a fucking laugh at my expense? I don't believe that you are, but it feels like you might be. All right. We're very competitive this year. We've definitely seen some significant improvements here. Ken Harrelson leading the league in home runs is certainly not hurting that. Let's see. Any other interesting news here that affects our team? Poor Bill Mazeroski. Ray Washburn is still going. Nice. He's had himself one of the careers of all time. That's certain. A perfect game for Alonzo Mitchell. Beautiful. I love perfect games. I've never seen a full perfect game from start to finish. The closest I ever came was I saw most of the Randy Johnson perfect game, which was in. Let me look that up real quick. That was a while ago. Yeah, in 2004 when he pitched for the Diamondbacks. Um, I didn't see the whole game, but I did see most of it. I missed basically the first half of the game. But I've never actually seen a full perfect game from top to bottom. Starting pitching rookie leaders. Yeah, fuck Tom Hall, man. So many shutouts this year, like holy shit, man. A shutout for Phil Necro, always appreciated. A shutout for Tiant. When Tiant is fucking on, very few other pitchers can compare to him, in my opinion. But he has to be completely on, and that's not something that happens all that much. Al Kaline, 2,500 hits. Very nice. Very nice. Player development, Dave Juicy is getting better. Ted Simmons is getting a lot better. Wayne Garrett is improving. Good shit is happening. Beautiful. I mean, Ted Simmons is real fucking good. That's the crux of what's going well this season. Ted Simmons is incredible. And Ken Harrelson is actually hitting for power pretty consistently. Those are the two stories of the season thus far. Is Ted Simmons is then worth every cent, and Jim Northrup is not. It's a very uneven season. I think the most disappointing player so far, though, is Jim Fregosi. He's off to a really rough start to the season here. He could not be colder if he was in carbonite like Han Solo, in other words. Hopefully he figures it out. Lou Brock has been fine, but not anything special. I think Ken Harrelson moves up to hitting cleanup again. I think somebody as hot as he is needs to be hitting higher in the lineup. Byron Brown is doing fine. I mean, we haven't seen too much out of him yet. Ron Hansen is struggling badly. He's even struggling at shortstop. Is there a solution to this problem? Is there a better shortstop on this roster? Not Wayne Garrett. Wayne Garrett can play second, but he can't really play any other position that well. Sandy Alomar can't play shortstop at all. Joseph Curtin is certainly nothing to write home about. I could push for Gosia to shortstop and play Garrett at second, potentially. But I don't think he can handle that well. I don't know. Let's quickly check on the trade block. Let's just see who's being proffered. William Cottrell is a really good shortstop, but he has no offensive skills whatsoever. Which means I can probably get him fairly cheap if I really wanted him. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, but that's a good decision for us here. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna bother with anybody here. Let's just keep it going for now. I feel like Ron Hansen not playing super well isn't the reason why we're going to struggle or not struggle. It's gonna be something else. It's gonna be fucking Jimmy Hall whining about starting, which he needs to put in his pie hole and seal it. Bro, you're hitting 103. Of this whole time that I've had you and given you at bats, you've had one seemingly competent season and nothing else. Like, you offer very little value other than the fact that you're a veteran who knows what the job is. Do your damn job. Say, like, nice things to the rookies. Like, give Ted Simmons, like, a back rub. I don't know. Whatever it is veteran players would typically do. This is a super tight AL American League race this year. Not like the Phillies who are running away with it from the National League. We're very much in playoff position if a few things went well for us. We just got to keep that up. All right, any big time notes here? Another shutout for Catfish Hunter. I don't want you to alarm, but he's not even a real catfish. Phil Necro got another shutout. Bobby Bonds is having an incredible season. I'd love a guy like Bobby Bonds, but it's not going to be possible for us to acquire him. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could, though? Just for fun. Okay, I had to try. I had to try. But I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew it was never going to happen. I'm a little disappointed that Mike Cuellar turned into a top tier starting pitcher after all those years we gave him, and he wasn't anything special for us. Trading him to the White Sox clearly was what he was waiting for. So, hmm. Is that Ferguson Jenkins? Damn right it is. No shout out for Necro. Jim Northrup is getting hot. That's pretty good. Seeing him heat up is going to help us out a lot. A 20 game hit streak for Lou Brock. Okay, what the fuck does Ted Simmons have to do to be named Rookie of the Month? Like, seriously, you're a good pitcher. I'm not that upset about it, but, like, Ted Simmons is one of the best catchers in the major leagues already. This motherfucker has already achieved 3 WAR, and yet he's not the Rookie of the Month. Man, go to fucking hell, game. You know who the Rookie of the Year is. It's Ted fucking Simmons. So put a sock in it, okay? Just cease thy prating. Jim Fregosi is ice cold. I don't know what's happened to him this year, but he is really, really struggling. Took out his advanced batting. Yeah, his BABIP is in the toilet. This leads me to think that he will eventually figure it out, but I don't know that we can wait that long. I just don't think we have a better choice anyway, so I think we just kind of soak it for now. Why are you not saving more? The home runs are becoming a problem, but overall you're still the best reliever on the. How do you look so bad? Oh, because you're not throwing as many innings, and you're giving up home runs, and you're also walking a lot of people. I think that's fine. I don't really feel much of a need to overthink this one. I think we just leave the bullpen as it is. I think we just leave things as they are for right now. Like, I could do better at third base potentially, but I don't know where that would come from. The thing is, despite his pathetic OPS, he's still 6% better than the average, and I think that's just where we are this season. It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, I could take Joe Mueller out of the rotation. He is struggling a bit this year. He has given him up. He has given up some home runs. He's not walking for any people. His peripherals looks outstanding. I wonder if he's getting victimized by bad defense. Our defense is not great this year. Look at our fielding stats here. Our infield sucks this year. Especially Ron Hansen, which is deeply concerning to me. If I'm not getting offense out of him, if I'm not getting defense alone out of him, then keeping around for his pathetic bat is just not worth it. I think we need to trade him. I will take any flavor of shortstop. No, nobody wants Ron Hansen. Do you want him for anything? Or are you just like, no, fuck him? Disappointing. Who do we got? Let's check free agency first, actually. Let's make sure there's not, like, a secretly pretty solid player here that we could grab. Russ Snyder would low-key be a damn fine bat off the bench. I'd probably keep him over Jimmy Hall because he's so good defensively. Russ, I will offer you a contract. Easy. Okay, there is no one. Okay. Let me trade Jimmy Hall for a shortstop. Let me see if there's anybody interested in acquiring his services. Just really bad ones. Yeah, okay. What if I eat his salary? Does that give me any better choices? Not really. It's still getting me pretty mediocre guys. Alright, hitters, shortstops, defensive at least 60. Search. There ain't many of them. There ain't many of them. What if Yankees? What if we did the funniest thing and you gave me Rico Petrocelli? No, you want me to go fuck myself? That's fair. That's a fair response. What if you're going to trade Woody Woodward? No. Yeah, there's nothing more valuable right now than a good defensive shortstop. It's going to be nearly impossible for me to get anyone. I think even Al Weiss is going to be not someone I can acquire. Check that. Al Weiss is definitely on the menu. Remember, if there's anybody else here that I could acquire that would make a difference here? Probably not, because you're never going to give me Petrocelli or Yastrzemski. I mean, is Al Weiss actually better than Ron Hansen? No, because he's subject to errors. You almost fucking got me there, Yankees. I will fall for your tricks. Now, Mark Bellinger might be exactly what the doctor ordered. I wonder if we're prepared to give him up. Okay, I'm going to start by offering you some mid-tier prospects and see if that changes your opinion at all. Like Cesar Geronimo and John Walkenfuss and Gene Klein. Yeah, you're just not going to part with him. That's reasonable. I doubt you'll give me Larry Brown either, but let me at least ask. Okay, Larry Brown does actually seem gettable. I'll give you Walkenfuss. Done. All right, Larry Brown, you're playing shortstop on this team. Can I get absolutely anything for Ron Hansen that's even remotely interesting? No, I can't. I mean, he sucks at this point, so I'm not that surprised. I'm just going to go ahead and release him. Like, Larry Brown is both a better defender and a much better hitter, so I think this is the right decision here. All right, that's one move made that I feel good about, and he's really just keeping time for Wayne Garrett. Although Wayne Garrett's future is certainly not as bright as it once was, but he might be replacing fucking Jim Fergosi sooner rather than later if Fergosi doesn't figure out his shit. You want an upgraded right field? I know that we're not that much better, but it is what it is. We did get Russ Snyder. Fantastic. Let's trade Jimmy Hall. Hmm. I would certainly not object to getting another top quality reliever in this bullpen. It's maybe not my first choice, but I don't see another option that really moves the needle, so let's do it. Okay. So first things first, Russ Snyder instantly makes this team. Next thing is I gotta get rid of a reliever. Is Worthington a lefty? He is not. Probably Billy Baldwin at this point. Like there's just nothing to write home about with him. I know I have a second setup guy that can set the shit up in the seventh inning. Or in the eighth inning, rather. You can also back up as the closer. Lineups. Let's redo the depth chart with our new friend here. If you really want to start Snyder and right over Byron Brown, we're gonna do it. 100%. And maybe he even stays there. Right field here. Yeah, you know what, Russ Snyder, welcome to the lineup. Because Byron Brown ain't doing shit with his opportunity. I mean, he's not terrible. He's not an awful player, but he's certainly not the defender that you are. And I think defense would be very welcome here. An improvement in our defensive capabilities. So let's generate a new depth chart. Jack Hyde is not fucking supplanting Ted Simmons. That's just not going to happen. I need you to stop recommending that because it's not going to happen. All right. Some pretty minor moves, but I think moves that might help us be even more competitive. Brock stopped at 22 games. Unfortunate. Let's go ahead and keep our coaches here. Oh, by the way, you may recall that Red Ruffin retired. What happened was the game crashed when I was trying to save it, and the only thing that changed was that Red Ruffin didn't retire. So yeah. And Reggie Map, you may continue to be my pitching coach. You actually did a really good job of developing young pitchers, so I'm pretty happy about that. Alex Johnson. Like Ted Simmons has, yeah, Ted Simmons made it. Al Worthington made it, although that barely counts me. Jerry Robertson made it. Louis Tiant made it. And that's it. You know what? I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy about that. Tom Hall can eat a dick. Ted Simmons better win fucking Rookie of the Year. That's all I gotta say. That's all I've gotta say. I mean, I'm a little surprised that a pitcher like, say, Necro or Hunter didn't make the All Star team, but I know their ERAs aren't quite as sexy. But I figured Necro would definitely have gotten some consideration. But I just want to be a good pitcher. I don't care if they make All Star teams or not. So, yeah. Jerry Robertson's actually really good this year. Not good enough to bench Moeller, I don't think. I think Moeller has been. Let me check the pitching stats. I wonder if he's been victimized by bad defense. What is his FIP? Yeah, he looks way better if we had a better defense. I'm wondering if replacing Ron Hansen is going to help his is going to help him out a little bit. We'll see. Let's go ahead and keep going through the baseball games. That sucks, but whatever. I mean, a literal tertiary pitcher getting injured isn't that important to me. Let's go with Roger Laprise, actually. He's almost as good as Boozer Baldwin, but he throws super hard. That makes me happy. Okay. Lee May wants a trade. Nope. If we could just get a nice series against some of these top teams and just like run the table on them, that would help us out tremendously. Let's see here. We got shut out by Don Drysdale. You know what? There's no shame in that. Don Drysdale's really fucking good. Joe Necro this time is the one who got the shutout. Nice. Phil Necro got a shutout, which is glorious indeed. 15 wins for him already is pretty exciting. Frank Howard, Hondo, had a pretty damn good game. Nice. Damn, Jay Robertson wasn't even starting, and he's just like, what if I just shut you out for fun? Didn't Johnny Edwards play for me at one point? Yes, he did. Nice to see him having a good career, though. I'm a fan. The manager of the Twins is grumpy. D. Matthews hit 500 homers. Andy Maldonado. Oh, Josue Maldonado. Okay. That's less exciting. 2,000 hits for Bill White. Nice. I'm sorry that fucking Ted Sims doesn't bunt enough to make you happy. Alright. What do we need at this point? I need Jim Fregosi to figure out his shit. And I think we're still in the market for a starting outfielder. I mean, Russ Snyder's barely played, so I don't want to give him too much shit, but... Ed Kirkpatrick coming back might be nice. Potentially. Maybe. Let's see what's on offer. Yeah, this has been a really bad year for Jim Fregosi. If he was even a tenth of the player he's been in the past, I think we would have already clinched. Maybe not clinched the pennant, but I definitely think we'd be in a position to possibly clinch the pennant. Alright, what do we got here? Ron Peronowski, I don't really think yet another reliever moves the needle for me. Larry Jackson doesn't help. Manny Mota might be nice, but I am concerned about a player whose only skill is getting base hits. I am concerned about his sustainability as an everyday outfielder, but that's a possibility at least. You're nothing special. Don Mincher would be nice, but I don't really have a spot for him because Harrelson's actually playing pretty well this year. I'm not going to go for Albie Pearson again. I've been down that bridge before. What would Manny Mota actually take me? A little bit too much. A little bit too much. I don't think it's worth it to me. Especially when we've barely seen what Russ Snyder can do, and Eddie Kirkpatrick will be back in the not too distant future. I just don't really see an offer here. I don't really see any interesting players being offered to me. I mean, I guess I could acquire Don Mincher. Oh, I could do that, and then I could shift Ken Harrelson to right field. That is an intriguing option. What would Don Mincher cost me? Too much. I'm not prepared to give up even a guy like Wayne Garrett, especially if Jim Fregosi keeps struggling. He might be replaced sooner rather than later. We started with Gene Kleins. That does move the needle a little bit. I added Steve Bry. Now we're really getting in there. You want Kenneth Young, you can have him. Alright, done. Okay, so here's the plan. Here's the plan of plans. Ken Harrelson, you shift over to right field. Don Mincher plays first base. Byron Brown gets waived. I cannot quit Don Mincher. I have a problem, and my problem is Don Mincher. But I think he's such a big asset if we can make this work that I'm over the moon about adding him. 1,000%. You're gonna slot in here and play first, and that's just a question of where we put you in the lineup. I think we'd have to put you ahead of Trash, and definitely ahead of Northrop. So let's do this. Alright. That is a huge gap for this lineup. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but I'm certainly willing to give him that opportunity to show that it's enough. I'm not going to play Russ Snyder that much. And I'm not playing Jack Hyde every other game. I need you to stop trying to force the only great hitter in this lineup out of the lineup, please. That would make me very happy if you would stop doing that. All right. I think that's a pretty damn good deadline. I don't think there's really anything else that I'm interested in here. I know we gave up a lot of young talent, but honestly, we're on the clock here. And if we can force ourselves into the Pope to getting a pennant this year, I'd be really happy. I'd be really, really happy. So, Don Mincher, I need you to just start nuclearly obliterating baseballs. I would like relativistic baseball where the park just vanishes because you hit the baseball so hard. That's what I'm looking for. That's my. I love how Don Mincher is like my personal caddy, and I just keep bringing him back, and I can't ever completely quit him. That's funny. You know what? Fuck this guy, okay? Fuck him super hard. This mediocre ass pitcher who's a reliever casually gets Rookie of the Month, and I can't get it for one of the best players in the major leagues. You know what? This fucking contest is rigged. I mean, the hardware I really want is an AL pennant. So if I can make that happen, I'd be quite pleased. Ed Kirkpatrick, I would dearly like you to rehab in the minors, please. And then once rosters expand, I'll bring you back. I promise. Poor Byron Brown hasn't actually been that bad this year, but he hasn't been good either. So he just constantly finds himself like not getting respect. Really? Time Reynolds, I'm gonna send you to the minors for like, oh, I can't demote you. Why the fuck not? Okay, I can. I guess I had the wrong person on there. That's fine. And then give me a new depth chart here, please. And again, stop. Just stop embarrassing yourself, game. There we go. Just gonna ignore these emails for right now. Good golly. Ted Simmons is the second best hitter in the major leagues and is hitting 303. And yet someone's going to be like, yes, this relief pitcher deserves Rookie of the Month because he's super awesome. Like, what the fuck ever, man. If you really don't want to give him any props, then just go fuck yourself. He's Rookie of the Month. Her. I was good in relief. Man, go to hell. Okay? Take a short train directly to hell. Hmm. Sure, we can bring you back. Hmm. And you're all just getting middle relievers at this point. Time Reynolds has barely played, so he'll just kind of hang out. He'll be moral support. Gotta wish we would put together like 5 or 6 wins in a row. Would make me feel a lot better about our chances here. Just win baseball games. That's what I'm looking for here. Not those guys. Oh my god, it is so nerve wracking. Even the Phillies, like the Phillies, you may recall at one point had like an 8 game lead, and even this race is getting super tight. Um, Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I would like us to keep winning baseball games. So I feel like that's an essential component to making the playoffs is winning baseball games. Hey, Senators. Okay, this is a crucial series. If we can win, if we can win this series against the Senators, that might be just enough to push us over the brink. Maybe. Well, we do play Senators again at the end of the season, so there's still lots of consequential games to be played. We just need to fucking win those games. Like that's it. Like that's what we need to do. We need to beat up on Baltimore and beat up on Washington if we're gonna try to win the pennant. Oh my god. Is it literally tied? I already clinched it. Oh my god, we did it, guys. We fucking did it. An AL fucking pennant. Oh my god. I thought we would never get it. I genuinely thought it was just never gonna happen for us. Amazing. Truly incredible. I fucking love it, man. Mm. Jim Fregosi is third in the league in home runs when playing second base, and he's still having a pretty bad season. It turned out all we needed was Ted Simmons to be incredible and have an incredible season with Phil Niekro, and that's all we needed. Wow. Is it another reliever? It's another fucking reliever. Oh my god. No, I guess he's a starter at least. You just will not give him his fucking props, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad that Ted Simmons is just not getting any credit. Like, he's one of the best players in the league, and he's like, yeah, you're not rookie of the month. Fuck you, buddy. Disgusting. Okay, let's get the playoff roster start. Let's see what kind of stupid bullshit you try to pull here. Ed Kirkpatrick makes a roster. There we go. Done. Why would he not make the roster? I beg of you. Game? Stop it. All right, guys. Let's just hope for the best, man. Oh, I might want to rejigger my rotation here. Who's been the better pitcher this year? Tiant hasn't actually been that amazing compared to Phil Niekro. Phil Niekro, I think, is our ace this year. Yeah. I'm not going to argue, but I am going to swap Moeller and Juicy. Juicy's actually had a really good season. So we'll do that. And I am going to go ahead and run 4 men in the rotation. And I'm not going to pitch. I'm not going to let Moeller pitch at all. He can be emergency starter if we need one. Okay. All right, Catfish. Let's get him. Nice. Nice. These are very, very close games, though. These are very exciting. I would love to be sitting in the stands for some of these games. Every game has been super tight. Until that one, where Louis Tiant just melted. He's always got that's the problem with Louis Tiant, right? He's got those games in him where he just completely melts. And there's nothing you can do about that. But when he's on, very few pitchers are better in the major leagues. He's just not on all the time. So, yeah. Okay, another super close one. Series is now tied. Oh my god. Every game except for game three has been such a nail biter. Phil Necro, please, I beg you. Damn it! He just got obliterated. Yeah. What a tight series, though. What a tight series. Gentlemen, don't even think about hanging your head in shame. This was truly special. This is a great season. And yeah, I'm very proud of this team. Every single one of those games was super ultra tight, which is what you want to see in a postseason series. I mean, what I prefer to see is one every game by 26 runs, but that wasn't ever going to happen. Um, that was a fun series. That was really, really fun. And I'm so glad that we were able to win one pennant before the end of the series next week. So that feels really good. Really, really good. The goodest. We will break down how this T season went, but it's going to come down to Ted Simmons. It really is. Um, and I know Ted Simmons, like, it's not like Ted Simmons is worth like 20 WAR by himself, but he makes the rest of the team better. Other people get better pitches to hit because of he exists. Um, People are able to get higher Ribby totals like Ken Harrelson because they have a guy like Ted Simmons that they can drive in. It all works out beautifully. I am proud. I'm very proud of this team. I think they all deserve a shiny cookie. A Tigers player is retiring. It's Al Worthington. That's disappointing, but I understand. I got another year contract. You would like me to take Manuel Medina? I think not. He's a good pitcher, but I'm not prepared to give up Billy Canigliaro. I guess Billy Canigliaro is nothing special, actually. What if I just gave you Canigliaro? Okay. Yeah, Manuel Medina is a really good pitcher. I think he significantly strengthens our bullpen, especially since we just lost Al Worthington. I think this basically puts us in neutral, which is great. There you go. That is a trade I will happily accept. Well done, you. People got fired. That's a shame. I'm gonna save the game. So an issue with this historical save is if you just exit OTP, it's supposed to save on exit, and it just hasn't been doing that. It's actually been crashing. That's what happened. Why Red Ruffing didn't retire last time, or didn't retire this time. All right. Besides the incomparable Mad Lad Ted Simmons, who were our big performers this year? I mean, this is a pretty damn good rookie season. And the scary thing is, there's more. Like, we know that there's more. He's going to get as better as a catcher, although he wasn't a bad catcher this year by any stretch of the imagination. Only 4 errors, 10 passed balls, but he catches Phil Negro, so yeah. Jim Northrup had a fantastic season. I know he started off kind of cold, but he proved that he is one of the best center fielders in the league. He's just an awesome defender. He's a truly special, complete player. Don't look now, but Jim Fregosi did figure it out toward the end of the season. If his offense wasn't quite as good as it has been in the past, his defense was phenomenal. He really stepped it up defensively, and I think he's also pretty damn good on the bases, too. Actually, was pretty bad on the bases, but for his worst offensive year, he was still a very, very valuable contributor. And I think this is just one of those years where you just run into uh, some issues there. Look, Don Mincher down the stretch was pretty damn good for us. He took a little bit of weight off of Ken Harrelson's shoulders, who had his best year by far. Um, Lots of power, got on base at a good clip, played reasonably well at first base. A little bit less at right field, but still a good player. Larry Brown was brought here for one reason, to play good defense at shortstop, and that is a job that he handled pretty damn well. He's not perfect. We could still use an upgrade there, but I'm still pretty happy with that. Tom Tresh had a pretty good year defensively as well. Lou Brock did Lou Brock things fairly well this year. He got base hits and he stole bases. That's really all you can expect from him. This is a terrible on base percentage from your leadoff guy, but he was still pretty darn good. We got a great bench here out of Jack Hyatt and some pretty good performances from a lot of our other players here. Pitching wise, Phil Niekro really turned himself into one of the best pitchers in the major leagues. He and Ted Simmons clearly have a thing, and I'm very happy for that. Moeller, Juicy, Tian, and Hunter were all about the same. Jay Robertson had a great season. He probably deserves to get regular rotation spots next year. A really nice find this year was Trinidad Moroyoki. He had a great season, just a phenomenal season, and could be even better next year. Mo Drabowski actually, purely by WAR, looks really, really bad. That's mostly because he didn't pitch very many innings. The innings he did pitch were very good, but WAR gives you a lot of credit for pitching a lot of innings. So he looks a little bit worse off just because he didn't pitch all that much. Which is fine. I'd rather him be really good when he does pitch than pitch all the time. So yeah. I think Al Worthington deserves a lot of credit too, though. Like, down the stretch here, he was a really, really good relief pitcher for us. And I hope he gets some consideration for the Hall of Fame. But if nothing else, he was a big contributor for us, and I'm really pleased with that. I do wish we could get one of our players a ring, and I hope that maybe next year we can double up and maybe see Jim Fregosi improve a little bit. Maybe see Ted Simmons take another level. Who knows? But I'm so proud of this team. I'm so proud. Remember, last season we were 81 and 82. Sorry, 80 and 82. 15 game improvement. Feels pretty damn good. And yes, we lost the World Series, but every single game was tight except for a couple. Like 4 of the 6 games were ultra close, and a couple lucky hits one way or the other would have changed the series significantly. So, bravo, clap, clap, clap. Well done, gentlemen, and thank you, as always, for your viewership and your comments and your likes. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Next episode's gonna be it for us, guys. And I'm really interested to see what things look like when we're all done. Until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.